In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to personalize an After Effects template. I'm using a template downloaded from Motion Array, which is the platform I go to if I need a template for either After Effects, Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve. Now, you might ask, what exactly is an After Effects template? An After Effects template is basically a pre-made project that you can personalize. You can change the text, you can change the colors, you can put whatever footage or pictures that you want to, so it fits your channel, or maybe you are making an intro for a client. Good for you. So grab a pen and notepad. I think you might need it. There's some shortcuts and some tricks and tips that I'm going to share during the video. So let's just head to my computer and let's do this. Now chair. So once we are on motionarray.com, let's go up to templates and Adobe After Effects. And you will be presented by tons of very cool looking After Effects templates. So to find this intro a little bit faster, we know that we want it to be horizontal. So let's go down here to orientations and click horizontal, so we don't get like tons of footage or templates rather, which are in vertical for Instagram and those stuff. One of my secret tips and tricks is to go up here to added any time. I'd usually go to either last month, sometimes last 6 months. If you click last month, you're going to find very relative templates, because you do find some older templates still on Motion Array, which might not be as good as the newer ones. Furthermore, we know that we want an intro. Even though I could have used whatever templates I am given here, I found one which I think suits more my channel. And here we have it. It's called Band 911. And you can see it's new. So we can simply download it directly here. Clicking the download button, you will have a zip file, which we basically just press, and you have it right here, saved in your downloads folder. And what you want to do now is to drag it from the downloads folder to a folder on your computer of your choice. I have it on an external hard drive. Double click to open. Here we have the raw template without any added footage. Now, instead of importing the footage directly into After Effects, I like to use Premiere Pro to choose the footage that I want, because Premiere Pro is used to work with video files, while After Effects, although you can do the playback on a video file, it's not really used to do editing in this software. So here I have imported all the footage that I would like to use in my After Effects intro. We simply choose them all, Command C, go over to After Effects, and we can actually just drop them on this scene. And here I have all of the footage that I would like to use. Let's switch all of these off for the moment. And let's start with the first one. We can simply Command copy it. And we see down here that we are now on scene 1. We can double click it if you want to. And if we go in here, you can see shot 1. And this is where you have to put your footage. So now what you do is simply Command V to paste that. I want to press fit so I can see the scene. And here I have to adjust this footage a little bit. So I'm going to take it a bit higher up and maybe scale it a little bit higher so I don't have those black bars up and down. And first scene should be good to go. Let's check out final render. And here you can see the footage is now in scene 1. Let's go to scene 2. In this case, you don't really see where the footage will go. So what you might want to do is double click scene 2. You go to shots. Here they have used shot 3. Why? Don't know why it says shot 3, but anyway, shot 3. Let's just drag one of the footage down to see what happens. If I go now back to final render and see what is going on, you can see that it's a very small part of this scene where I see footage. And there's a lot of text which I don't need to use in my intro. So I'm actually gonna press this icon because I don't want to use that specific scene. Let's just move on to scene number 3. Again, we don't really know what's going on here because this specific template has not got what we call a placeholder. Usually in a After Effects template, there might be a placeholder. Let me show you very quickly what I mean. Double click scene 3, shot 4, and if I press Command Y and choose this to be red, a red solid, now you can see very quickly where this footage will go, and it will go right here. But I can also see that there's a shot 5 as well, which is used. There we go. And I'm going to do the same. Command Y, go back to the final render, and that's going on the right side of this template. So now I know that I need to find 2 kinds of footage here. Let's go back to number 4. And in this specific one, I would like to use the time lapse. So I'm going to copy that and Command V, icon. You won't see anything here. Why? That is because you have gone from the timeline in the final render composition, and this time lapse starts all the way out at about 14.5 seconds. So what you need to do then is to go to shot 4, Command K. Let's put the duration to 20 seconds. You use this slider, which is like far away mountains and closer in. Then we can see the footage that we want to use, and you simply drag it all the way over to 0 seconds. And if you drag the out point, holding Shift, it will snap to where the footage ends, and Control click, trim comp to work area. I want to make this bigger because the only thing I want to see is this volcano looking mountain in the background. We have the mountain, we're good to go. I'm not happy where it's placed, so I'm going to move this mountain a bit to the right. Let's go back into shot 4 and just drag it a little bit back to final render, and it's more or less in the middle where we want it to be. Shot 5, that is where I use the jackets. I can copy it, paste, and again I will do Command K, 20 seconds, zoom out and drag the footage all the way to 0. And I also like to keep my compositions as short as possible. So I drag the out point, Control click and trim comp to work area. I can also, well, we have to switch it on, and we can actually delete this one. Place me in the middle. And here we can see the footage of me putting on my jackets, and I'm happy with how that looks like. And you simply have to replicate these steps in the remainder of the scenes. Now, before we start adding the text, let's just remove the layers that we don't need to actually look at or work with. All of these clips, which are the footage that I have now placed into the template, we don't need to see them. However, I don't need to delete them completely. So if you look at this guy here, like a man with the nose kind of hiding, let's just press that one and activate it by going up here, and boom, all of those layers are gone. So we don't need to have those in the timeline because we don't need to see them. The same with scene 2 that we decided we're not going to use that one. Just press this button, gone. Same with scene 9, gone. In the first scene, there is no text. So let's jump over to scene 3. Let's double click on scene 3. You can also go up here to text main, because there is actually only 2 texts available to change here, but we are going to personalize it so that we can add more text into the intro that we need. Scene 3, here we see that there's 3, but that doesn't matter. If we change one of them, all of these layers will be changed. So let's go inside here. Band 911, we want to change that to whatever your channel is called. In my case, my name. Now, of course, here, let's fit this in. It's too big. That's okay. Let's just scale the text a bit down over here on the character side. Oh, I missed the P. And I'm also going to change the font because I don't use Roboto. I use this one, Gotham Black, regular. Good. Size it up so it fills out more or less all of this screen. Put in the title action save to make sure that it is more or less in the middle, and here we go. Let's go back to final render, and here we now have the name. Now have a look here, because you can't see the name or the title as we wanted it to, and that is because it's moving. If we go back here to the scene 3, so you can see that there's 3 texts here. If we highlight it, you can see that this text is on the right side, so is the other one, and we want to change the offset on this main text because I need my name to show up here. Press U to see the keyframes that they have used. Let's just move that back so that we can see the whole name or whatever title you have. Okay, I'm happy with that. And let's just remove the keyframes completely. And here we have this band 911, which I also obviously want to change. So let's go here to text stroke. We can see that it's highlighted. Let's double click it. And in this text, I would like it to say filmmaking and tutorial. And here we go, put it a bit higher so the G is shown and it's more or less in the middle. Let's go to scene 3 and here we have it. Now let's press U to see if that text is moving as well. It is. In this case, it's actually bang on the middle, so let's just remove that keyframe. Let's move my name a bit closer to the subtitle, the filmmaking and tutorials, and maybe we can even, with the arrow up, put it a bit higher so it's not that close to the image here of this mountain. As you have seen, we have also changed the text down here. That is because all of these compositions called text main is like only one specific layer or composition, and we want them to be separate compositions. So let's go up here to this project window, highlight text main and press Command D to duplicate that layer. Now, as you can see down here as well, I have highlighted the layer that I want to change. So what I simply do is, while dragging this text main 2 that we just created, when I get down to the text main, don't let go yet, press Option, then you let go, and you can see down here that it changed from text main to text main 2, which is the new layer that we just created, or the new composition rather. Let's double click it. And now here we can put whatever we want to. I want this to say tutorials. Tutorials. Now let's go back because I did a slight mistake. I put filmmaking and tutorials, but I wanted to be filmmaking and photography. So let's go back to that one. No, that was the wrong one. This is the text stroke. So filmmaking and photography. And as you can see, we need to rescale it a little bit. Scene 3, again, tutorials is too much to the right. Okay, so we don't want this text to move. So let's remove the keyframe and let's simply press P for position and drag it over where we want it to be. So more or less below this footage. And this process you have to repeat in every scene that you would like to change the text. After putting the text, we are going to edit the timeline completely to go from 30 seconds down to 10. What I like to do is, before I start to edit this composition in After Effects, I edit the music in Premiere Pro and make sure that it's 10 seconds long. So after editing this music, we just simply select them all, press Command C, go back to After Effects, make sure that you're in the beginning of the timeline, and Command V to paste it. Let's drag them all down. And here we are on 10 seconds, more or less. So to make this composition 10 seconds long, it is as easy as dragging these scenes wherever you want them to go. If you hold Shift and click, you can drag multiple layers at the same time. So this process is very self-explanatory, and you just have to make sure that it matches with the music, more or less, depending on what music track you have used, to the edit that you have. I want to personalize this template even a little bit further. So what I found out helped a bit here is to lower the opacity on this specific layer called, well, all of them are called grade, but this top layer, grade, it basically to make the image a little bit faded, as we can see here. I like it, but I think it's a bit too much. So let's go from 100 to 60%. And furthermore, we are going to change the colors on the background layer here, so it matches much more with the footage of me standing there on top of this mountain. So let's go up here to the project window, edit, color control, and let's double click color control. And if we click the layer color control, go up to here, effects control, here we can see all the different colors that they have used for the background fades. Now here, let's see what happens if we choose black and let's go for something a bit more like this color. You can see the background color is already changing a little bit. Let's go to background color 2. Let's choose one of these ones, a bit more teal. Hey, now it's already showing much more of that image in the background. Let's go over to the final render because this will have changed all the scenes that have used this background color 1 and 2. And we can go afterwards and regulate and adjust them a little bit if we want to. Let's go back to color control because we have also here got color control 3 and 4. So let's go to this scene 4 because I already noticed that we have, if we just highlight this, you can see that it has used white. Let's remove it. Yes, it's that one. So let's go to color control. Let's change these colors from the white to the colors that I have used in this scene. So let's go from, for example, a bluish one. And let's use the other one, pink. Can't see that one too much. Let's make it a little bit brighter. You can see that it's changing already, and some more saturation. And here you can see that it's changing. I'm quite happy with this. Let's say that you don't want to use only these two colors. You can obviously do that simply by removing the expression that you have used. Sounds very difficult, but it is very easy to do. Let's have a look here. For example, this last scene does not look very good. So let's double click the scene, scene 8. Now let's go down to background. We can see here, that's that one. That's the purple and lilac, and the other one is the blue and teal. Let's see what happens if I change this blue to a yellowish color. Nothing happens. That is because there's an expression used and we have to remove that expression. Gradient ramp, the arrow down, and here we see start color. There's also 2 arrows that we can open and close. And this equal sign is to enable the expression or not. So let's click these guys, and already we can see it's changed. So let's also change the white one to, let's do this darker one, and I want this brown to be more yellowish. And if you want to click over here, make it a little bit more subtle maybe, and a bit darker, I think. Let's go back to the final render, and you can play around with this as much as you want to. We're starting to get to where we want to be. I have also color corrected some of these scenes so they blend in a little bit more, like I have done with this specific footage. Let's go back to the scene. This is without the color correction, and this is with color correction, and you can see this black part of the hood matches more of the black part of the background, so it just looks a little bit better. So hopefully you got some good advice regarding personalizing a After Effects template downloaded from Motion Array. It might be a little bit difficult to start with, but what I suggest that you do is to actually download a ton of different templates and see what they have done, because you will learn so much. Obviously, you can also check out some tutorials on motionarray.com, so go and check that out as well. Thank you to Motion Array for sponsoring this video and continuing to support my channel. I really appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.